I was watching with great amusement. Many of you know that the Electoral Commission of Zambia was holding a stakeholders meeting earlier today. And all these different political parties had gone to attend the stakeholders meeting, and every single one of these presidential hopefuls, every one of these presidential aspirants, or as we say in Zambia, aspirants, each one of them walked in with the pomp and splendor of someone that was taking over as president tomorrow. Did you guys notice that? I mean, you had people like, Harry Kalaba, who walked in with his entourage. In Zambia, we say entourage, with his entourage. And then there was a guy in there, he wore a black cap, and it had some type of inscription on the cap. And he was given the microphone to address or to speak. Guys, rule number one, whenever you have a crowd of politicians or wannabe politicians, you never give the microphone, never give up the microphone to a politician. What you do is that you assign someone, for example here, okay, this is insecticide, okay? You assign someone to hold the mic and then approach the person that wants to speak, and the person that you have assigned to hold the mic simply puts the mic in that person's face. You never give up control of the mic. The moment you hand the mic to somebody and they have it in their hand, buana, ninkondo. Did you see him? He was the Electoral Commission, and bless her heart, the coordinator of the event, Mwewa, she was trying as best as she can and as politely as she could. She was trying to tell this guy, look, you can't say that, you can't talk like. Now I didn't know, that guy just know me, I'm the next president of Zambia. I'm going to unseat Hakainde Hichilema. We don't even know who you are. We don't even know your first name. If obscurity was to hit you in the face, you wouldn't even recognize obscurity. I mean, that's how dense and that's how infinitesimal whoever this guy was. I mean, he was just in his own world. So I found it curious and interesting that every presidential aspirant that went there today walked in as if they were going to take over the country tomorrow. It's a lot of hard work, okay? It's a lot of hard work, and it's not for the faint of heart. It's not. Guys, before I get into my dissertation, I have to say to you, today I launched my official mayoral fundraising campaign. And I'm going to put the link below. I see this, they say this on YouTube. I'm going to put the link below as soon as this broadcast is over. So for those of you that want to support my campaign, I've often said to you that public office should never be bankrolled by the candidate. That's a mouthful. And I know in Zambia we've been doing it the wrong way for so long that the wrong way has become the right way, which really isn't the right way. It is the quintessential wrong way. What's the wrong way? The wrong way is presidential hopefuls should never fund their campaigns. What is the right way? The right way is the people that believe in your candidature, the people that believe in your vision, the people that believe in the roadmap of your development are the ones that are supposed to rally behind you, galvanize support, not only moral support, but financial support as well. When all American presidents, it doesn't matter how rich they are, they all conduct and run fundraising campaigns. They get on the phone, they canvass on the phone, they call supporters. I need your support. It doesn't matter how rich they are, because they recognize that it is the electorate, it's their constituents, that they have to tap into that resource, that support, not just moral support. In Zambia, we love we'll just give you words of encouragement. But as far as the money, it's you, the candidate, supposed to give us money. Wrong. So today, I've launched, it's called YouFundMe. It's a version, I think GoFundMe, because GoFundMe is not registered in Zambia. So we partnered with a brilliant young man by the name of Joseph. Him and his team have assembled a platform that in a very transparent, accountable fashion allows you, the supporter, to sort of fund a campaign or fund a cause. You can fund anything, anything from raising money for a Yango, or raising money to build a block of toilets in a community. You can fundraise for anything, as long as you are reputable and you've got the goods to sort of back it up. So I've partnered with Joseph and his team. They have this amazing platform called YouFundMe, and I've put it on my page, and anyone that wants to support me in my bid and my run to the mayorship is welcome to hop on there and to contribute in whatever way you can. It's up to you, okay? And because, as you know, campaign fundraising is quite expensive, and when you're running for mayor, you need quite a bit of money to do it. It's not for the faint of heart, and it's not one person alone. And somebody, I'm going to address this. Somebody said this to me earlier. They said, "But Mwewa, you're rich. You've got that Simoson." No, that's not how it works. The way it works is, if you put your name forward for public service, if you put your name forward for a position like mayor, and you have a constituents, it is the people that say they support you, they're the ones that are supposed to help you achieve that goal. It's not about having money. It's not, and I'll be honest with you, okay, at Simoson Building, I just get a salary, okay? So I don't wake up and just say, where's the money? Just bring the money. No, that doesn't work. That's the only way Simoson has survived all these years. 38 years. It survived because me and my siblings, we just get a salary. Not that I owe you that explanation. I'm just telling you what it is, okay? So I need your help. I need your support. If you believe in my candidature, I would be honored and grateful if you could help me achieve that goal. Thank you. Alrighty, let's talk about Lusaka City Council and markets. First of all, let me explain to you the role that markets in our cities play. Markets are a major source of revenue for the council. And in order to understand council's relationship with our markets, you have to go back to the beginning. Okay, it's the famous saying is that if you don't know where you've come from, you won't know where you're going. Back in the early 90s, and I'll give you City Market as an example. City Market, which is one of the largest markets here in the CBD, which is directly opposite Simoson Building. City Market was built in 1997 under the Chiluba administration. Now, you've got to remember, back in those days, and I often say this, in the 80s, in 1987, 88, Simoson Building was the only sort of economic activity hub in this area. We are the ones, Simoson Building opened the business environment in this part of town. In those days, in the 80s, this area was never visited. People never even came here. You come here today, it is teeming with life. Well, in the 90s, specifically 1997, City Market was built, but built under great duress, because for those of you that, some of you don't remember this, I remember it because I was here. The land that City Market sits on, it just used to be shacks. It was just arbitrary little shacks. You know, a shack here, a shack there, no proper drainage system, nothing. When President Chiluba announced, and his administration announced, that they were going to build a market, the likes of which Lusaka had never seen, the people who were occupying that land resisted. The people that had little shacks on top of City Market, where City Market sits today, the people who were occupying space in City Market, they rose up in anger and righteous indignation, and they said, where are you going to take us? If you remove us from this land, where are we going to go? How are we going to feed our families? The same old story that our people love to use. They love to guilt trip our politicians. Our people are stellar at that. They love doing it. You know, where are we gonna go? How are we gonna feed our families? Blah 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 blah. Chiluba put his foot down and said, like it, love it, leave it, or loathe it, we're gonna build a market. They removed everybody. Zambia National Service, in conjunction with an Israeli company, built City Market. In 1997, it was opened. Initially, tell me in the comments if you know. Some of you may know, some of you may not. In the beginning, when City Market was first opened, do you know who was running the market? Tell me in the comments if you know who was running City Market when it was first opened and how it was being run. For those of you that don't know, allow me to educate you. When City Market was first opened, and in those days, this was 1997, it was beautiful. What the government did was they outsourced. They gave the Office of Revenue Collection to an independent company. In those days, it was called Cadres. It was a real estate company. It was a real estate management company. In those days, in the MMD days, under Frederick Chiluba, they recognized that a building this huge should not be given to just some type of riffraff. No, it should be given to a professional firm that handles the revenue of the market. And then that firm, in this case, was Cadres. Cadres, which was a real estate firm, they would collect the revenue meaning the rent. They would collect rent from each one of those stalls and stands in City Market. Stalls, S-T-A-L-L-S, not stores, not S-T-O-R-E-S. No, stalls. A stall is like a stand. A space, a small space is a stall. S-T-A-L-L, stall. Cadres was collecting money on behalf of Lusaka City Council. So Cadres would collect the rent, they would get their cut, you know, of course they signed an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, Cadres signed with Lusaka City Council. Cadres would collect the money on behalf of council, get their cut, turn around, remit to Lusaka City Council. That system was working perfectly because there was transparency, accountability, audits were done. It was running very well. But then one day, someone within the party of MMD, a cadre, stood up and said, Anje, why is this Cadres here? Why are they collecting money on behalf of Lusaka City Council? Cadres responded and said, well, we're doing it because we are tasked with collecting revenue in a transparent manner so that we remit to council what is owed to council. The cadre said, no. You are not needed here. You are irrelevant. It is us who should be collecting that money on behalf of council. Us, loyalists, us cadres who sweated, we fought, we were brutalized, we endured hardship, heartache and pain. So it is us who should run this thing. Those cadres went to Frederick Chuluba and they made noise. They said, "Uyu Desres sitimufuna mu city market. Remove Desres. Put us, your loyalists, your eyes, put us there. Let us collect money on behalf of Lusaka City Council." Desres was removed. Now, when I say cadres collected money, I mean Lusaka City Council now started hiring what they called market masters. In other words, a manager for a market. Market masters. Market managers. Employed by Lusaka City Council. They are on the payroll of Lusaka City Council. But the problem with that arrangement was these market masters could see the pool of money. When I tell you that these markets, when I explain to you that the money that comes from markets, it's a river of money. When those market masters started seeing all the money, because in markets you make money everywhere. You make money from buses. You make money from people who are selling in the corridors. You make money from people that are selling on the outskirts. You make money. For example, City Market has booths on the outside of the market. Booths that have been built on top of drainage systems all around the market. Who gets that money? It's not Lusaka City Council. It's just a small bunch of guys. A small bunch of guys who recognize that this is our time. Let me tell you the difference between PF and UPND. You see, a lot of UPND guys, when PF was in power, and these PF cadres used to do this nonsense, it wasn't so much that UPND cadres hated PF. That was not the big issue. The big issue was UPND cadres saw what PF cadres were doing, and they were saying, when we remove PF, we are going to do what PF cadres were doing. Now, the rude shock that they got was that Hakainde Hichilema was not for the idea of cadreism ruling with impunity. And I will tell you, the president got a bit of pushback. There was a time, if you remember, the UPND cadres stood up and said, no, if what PF. President Hakainde Hichilema made it clear. I remember that day he was at State House. He said, no cadreism. Meaning, cadres should not be given the unbridled power of doing whatever they want to do in the name of loyalty. So a lot of UPND cadres who came into the system, they came there with the desire and the plan to do exactly what they saw their PF colleagues doing. And they wanted to do that. For example, we used to have a PF cadre here at Simonson City Market area. My goodness. Abene Muke, Abene Mutila, Abene Monga, Abene Suke. Everything those guys did. When the PF lost and they ran away, it is our cadres, the UPND guys, who came and they took over the illegal bus station. They took over the small shops that were built on top of the drainage system. They inherited them. And when we raised the alarm that these things that Muke and his friends were doing were an impediment, they were a stumbling block to this business community, It was our guys that said, no. Mwewa, uko wilalandako. If you pay, shops are Muke, these shops that were built by Muke during PF, they belong to us now. They are ours. And I would say, but they are built on top of the drainage system. If you're this illegal bus station here on the corner is ours because we simply inherited these things from the PF. Why am I bringing this up? To show you that the markets that are being taken, that were taken over by so-called loyalists, are not running the markets in the way they're supposed to be run. Many of these markets are being run as if they're running their homes. And who's suffering? Who is suffering? It's you and me. Because markets are not generating the money they're supposed to generate. I'll give you an example. When Mao Zisampa was mayor, and he raised the concern of course now City Market to a degree has slightly improved. But in those days, Mao Zisampa looked at the account, the money that was being remitted from City Market into Lusaka City Council accounts. Miles raised the alarm. He said, City Market. This was during PF. But City Market. How can you remit such a small, paltry amount of money? In those days, there was a guy there. His name was Mutafwale. Mutafwale and his boys harassed Miles Zisampa and they threatened him. Miles, imagine Cadres telling a mayor, a sitting mayor, the man with the keys of the city, Cadres were telling the mayor, Miles, don't come here. This is not your jurisdiction. You are out of bounds. Iwe, Miles, twakupas 100 meters. And when Cadres say that, when Cadres say they give you 100 meters, meaning you can't come 100 meters within that vicinity. If you are seen anywhere near that vicinity, Bwana they used to beat. Miles was threatened. As we're speaking now, all the markets, whether it's BH market, whether it's the city market, BH, when it comes to electricity, and this is why I said in my preamble, markets should not be run by Cadres or Lusaka City Council. Lusaka City Council should not be running markets. Markets should be let out, should be subletted to proper companies, real estate companies that can run them as a going concern. Understand that. That's very important what I've said there. Markets should be run as profitable businesses. Yes, even though markets are for government markets are meant to cater to our vulnerable women, people that cannot. That's the reason markets are so affordable. City Market, for example. Do you know how much money people pay in City Market to have a stand in City Market? It's only 3 kwacha per day. That what they call market levy. 3 kwacha per day. Why? Because markets are designed for the vulnerable. But even though they are designed for the vulnerable, it is possible to still run them as a going concern. Meaning, it can pay for its own electricity. It can take care of its own water problems. It can properly pay for the maintenance team. It can pay for the cleaning crew. All those things can be done if markets were properly run by a third party, not the Lusaka City Council. Lusaka City Council does not have the ability, does not have the capability of running any market. Understand that. For example, BH market there is in ZESCO areas, more than 300,000 kwacha ZESCO areas. ZESCO went and switched off the power there at BH Market. An agreement was arrived at between BH and ZESCO. Kuti put prepaid meters for the shops within BH Market that use power. And each shop was supposed to be paying 120 kwacha towards the ZESCO bill. That money was being collected and given to Lusaka City Council. Lusaka City Council was not remitting to ZESCO. They were not paying ZESCO. More than 300,000 kwacha in arrears. ZESCO, BH. City Market, more than 1 million kwacha in arrears. ZESCO. The market down the road there, more than 500,000 kwacha in arrears. ZESCO. Why? Because when these chaps who operate and run these markets, when they give Lusaka City Council money, when they deposit there, ZESCO is not paying. Lusaka City Council is not paying. When those chaps, they just form a committee, just a committee there, for example, BH, they'll just say, no, okay, guys, if we were the ones who have built these shops, and this is the other thing. If you've ever been to BH Market there, BH Market was built during the PF regime. What is there, or what was first installed there? It was just shelters. The people within BH decided on their own to start building to small shops without the permission of council. They just decided themselves, oh, okay, guys, ama shops twala panga twala chita fabricate elio ama light twala chita tap twala wula chipola in chaba ZESCO leken tu chita apply kuri ZESCO chipola in wachibiki apa so apa eneni twala chita tap power so that ile power ile ingira muma shops, in the shops that we have built without council's authority, without council's approval. They just went and they just built. Council only came to know about those shops after the fact. That's when council says, oh, you've built these shops, okay, you continue, but as long as you remit 120 kwacha to our account so that we can settle the ZESCO bill. Cadres are collecting money, or shop owners in Chile, which is really shop owners are the same as cadres, are collecting money at BH, turning around, giving Lusaka City Council, depositing in Lusaka City Council account. Lusaka City Council is not paying ZESCO. Why is this happening? Let's talk about garbage. Garbage at BH. Garbage, you must understand that BH is one of the biggest markets in this city, along with City Market. The garbage that BH generates, because a lot of farmers, they go to BH. Ama tomato, ama cabbage, finchi, they take there to BH. So the garbage generation of BH, astronomical. The tonnage of waste at BH, Bwana, it's a mountain. But even that garbage collection is not being handled there. Why? Because the market is run essentially by just a few chaps who call themselves the stakeholders, who own Tuma shops, BH. The problem here is that Lusaka City Council should not wash their hands of markets and say, run them the way you want as long as you are giving us a small amount of money. Right now, as things stand, the reason these markets are in the shape that they're in is because the town clerk, the director housing, all these people, they're just sitting in the offices. The deputy mayor, the mayor, he's just sitting in the office. You cannot run these markets with you just sitting in the office from 1 up to 30. From 8 o'clock to 17 hours, you are just in the office signing documents. You can't even get up and take a tour of the markets to see how the markets are being run, to see firsthand how the markets are being run. Don't even talk to me about this Simon Mwewa market. Simon Mwewa market is a scam. Proper scam. Who is running that market? It's just a bunch of cadres. Huh? The ablution block there at I raised this alarm with Lusaka City Council. I said, how do you allow an ablution block to be covered by people popaling, nailing, taking hammers, nailing to the wall, and then erecting their own stands against a toilet where there's a stand here, there's a stand there, there's a stand there, and then the whole thing is just a hodgepodge. There's no coordination, nothing. What was the response from council? No, where are people going to go? Where right now, Simon Mwewa market is full of irregularities. Full. All these markets, these so-called committees can just wake up today and just announce, Banamayo, Chiramuntu, Lelo, Mwalali Pilama 300 kwacha. Ngata mwali Pilama 300 kwacha, twala mtamfya mu market. If you don't pay the 300 kwacha today, we're going to chase you from this market. Sometimes the town clerk is not even aware. Sometimes he's aware, sometimes he's not aware. Why? Because there is no connection between council and these markets. There's no hands-on connection. You know what hands-on connection is? It means the mayor, the town clerk, the deputy mayor, the director housing, director finance, they're supposed to leave those offices and come on the ground, inspect what is going on there to make sure that what is being agreed is what is being done. But do they do it? No. The entire system is rotten and corrupt. In Lusaka City Council. Oh my goodness. You know, and these are the people that are supposed to be the beacon, the standard of integrity when it comes to running our city. These are the people who are supposed to run our city with efficiency. They don't do it. Why? Because they're too concerned about lining their own pockets. All these chaps you see who announce their candidatures for whether it's mayor or whatever, they are just there to milk the system. They're just there, let us go. So let us sell plots. Let us get land illegally. Let us see. Not one of them looks at the city and say, how can we make the city better? How can we collect garbage more effectively? How do we make the city less choked with all of these irregular billboards and illegal billboards? How do we make sure that our street lights are working properly? How do we sensitize our people on how to properly dispose of garbage? How do we manage the waste management issue, the mounting waste management issue in the city? They don't talk like that. The only thing they're concerned about, woi, chirichani huko. Umuzuru? Utichekele huko kai. Tusuneko. Ina ni ulikudia. So their plot deduction, nishinga pa dia. How much is that plot? So what we have now, I can tell you, what we have in this city is Lusaka City Council is unconcerned about the well-being of this city. Lusaka City Council is unconcerned about the functionality of this city. Those chaps are a bunch of crooks. Let me tell you. Let me tell you now. Because if we had a proper council that looked at the affairs and the functionality of the city, these markets that are being overrun by unscrupulous chaps, and they are pocketing the money. And dare I say millions. They're doing it at the expense of the city. It's you and I that suffer because of that incompetence that is going on at that council. It's you and I, the citizens of this city, that suffer because of the inadequacies of that Lusaka City Council. It is you and I that bear the brunt of ineffectiveness because of that Lusaka City Council. City Market, more than 1 million kwacha, ZESCO arrears. What is council doing about it? Nothing, zero. BH, more than 300,000 kwacha worth of ZESCO arrears. They are telling BH, you sort out your own issue. Sort it out. If it was some arrears, Lusaka City Council doesn't want to hear about arrears. They're saying sort it out on your own. But whatever money you bring to us here, we are going to pay ZESCO. You go and check. Have they paid ZESCO? Nothing. Wala, zero, nothing. Director Finance there at Lusaka City Council is just sitting there. No, bring me the statements. Can you bring me the statements so that we see how much we owe ZESCO? Borisani statement, if you bring me the statement, then we can remit. Voila. Nothing. And you know why they act like that? It's that bomber mentality. Bomber the bomber. Bomber the bomber. We are government. So we are an offshoot of government as Lusaka City Council. So if we owe ZESCO, it is like a mother who owes a father money. It's like a child who owes his mother money. We are the same family. So even if we have arrears there at ZESCO, it's okay. Boma ni boma. Total foolishness, idiocy, incompetence. That is what that is. And as long as it continues to be like that, I'm telling you, this city, it will never function. Never. My appeal to the town clerk, because you see, we are in an election year now. These councillors, I'm telling you, moving forward, councillors must be held to a higher standard. And the problem with this city, in fact this whole country, you don't realize the power of a councillor. You look at councillors and you think, no, Nima councillor. Those chaps are powerful. And they know it. And they know that you don't know how powerful and how important and how significant in terms of a city's trajectory. They know, councillors know that the average Zambian doesn't know the power of a councillor. Doesn't. That's why they do the deals they make. Because they know that the Zambians are not going to say, Manja councillor, they don't. That's the reason most councillors are one-term councillors. Have you noticed that? It doesn't matter from which political party. Why? Because councillors, mostly councillors, they go in there to do their thing. Once they're elected as the councillor, they do everything wrong. They know that the next election cycle, those same people they avoided, they have to face them. So most councillors are one-term councillors. Why? Because they don't deliver. They don't. So moving forward, Bane, we need to elect leaders, councillors, mayors that have the city at heart. Echo what leadership is saying. If you've got a president like Hakainde Hichilema who says, clean the city, when Hakainde Hichilema called 1,800 councillors there at Mulungushi, something that had never been done, and he said to the councillors, you councillors, what job do you do? What is the purpose of your job? Yes, you can complain about salaries, allowances, but you've given yourself to that calling. When you put your name forward for leadership in terms of ward councillor, what job do you do? He asked them. The president highlighted the importance of cleanliness. The city is drowning in filth. What are you doing about it? Because if in a ward there's a problem with garbage collection, is it the president who's supposed to tentemuka? Is it the president who's supposed to come down to the ward and say, manje garbage chiribwa? No. It is supposed to be the councillor. The councillor is the one in charge of that. The president's premise was this: if at ward councillor you are doing your job, it means the periphery will do its job. It means the member of parliament will do his job. It means the minister will do his job. It means the president will do. So it starts from there. That's where it starts from. The president's message was, if you as a councillor at your level, at ward level, if you are doing your job, if you're taking care of your ward, it stands to reason that the member of parliament will take care of his ward. It stands to reason that the minister will do his job. It stands to reason that the president will be accountable. But you forget the vital role that the councillor plays. So in closing, let me say, markets, the way markets are being run today is a scam. They just line the pockets of a few individuals, party loyalists, or party cadres. They look at any market structure and they say, when we win, we'll do what they're doing. But it should not be about party loyalists. It should not be about party cadreism. It should be about the betterment of the city. That's all. Regardless of who is there. The betterment of the city. Bwana. So, where we're going, I urge you. Sorry. I urge you, let us elect people that have the city's functionality at heart. That's what we need to do. Because we need it, man. I mean, it's overdue. I don't know how much longer we can do what we're doing. I don't know how much longer we can have a city that is dysfunctional. Lusaka is a dysfunctional city. Lusaka, dysfunctional. On every level, dysfunctional. Why? Because the people who are tasked with the custodians of this city are too busy lining their own pockets. They don't care about the functionality of the city. Although one, they don't care. Do you know? Okay, let me ask you a question. Who is the most powerful person at Lusaka City Council? Do you know who it is? Tell me if you know. Tell me in the comments. Who is the most powerful person in terms of administration? Who has the most administrative power at Lusaka City Council? Tell me. Tell me if you know. Tell me. Who is it? I'll wait until you tell me. Tell me in the comments, who is the most powerful in terms of administrative power? Who's the most powerful person at Lusaka City Council? Some of you know, some of you may not know. Bernard Piri pinned this comment. Correct. The town clerk. The town clerk is the most powerful administrative officer at Lusaka City Council. However, who sets the tone for the city? We've answered the question. The most powerful administrative officer at Lusaka City Council in terms of executive administrative powers is their town clerk. But in terms of setting the tone for the city, who's the most powerful? In terms of setting the tone for the city, who is the face of the city? The face of the city is not the town clerk. Who sets the tone for the city? Tell me. I'll wait because I'm looking at your answers here. I'll wait. Nathan Banda. Who's that? Pin this comment. Correct. The mayor sets the tone. The mayor sets the tone. The mayor is the face of the city. The mayor sets the tone. The mayor sort of sets the agenda for what the council needs to do in order for the city to function. He or she, whoever it is, sets the tone. Why? Because they're the face of the council. These two officers currently, they don't do their job. Why? Because they're too busy doing their thing. They're just too busy. They sit in their offices, drinking tea, coffee, and then when they're done, they go home. I'm not suggesting that the town clerk and the mayor always walk around the town. No, but at least do that. You need to do that. You need to have your finger on the pulse. Don't stand there and point your finger to the moon like there's no tomorrow. Put your finger on the pulse. As they say in politics, you need to go on the ground. Inspect. When was the last time you saw the mayor or the town clerk in any of these markets? If you're watching me from City Market or BH or Lumumba Road or Kolima Tower, when was the last time you saw the town clerk and mayor, or indeed the deputy mayor, or the director of housing? Do you even know what the director of housing looks like? Do you know him? Do you know what the town clerk looks like? Do you know who the town clerk is? Okay, who is the town clerk of Lusaka? Do you know him? If the mayor of Lusaka were to walk past here, would you recognize her? If she was just wearing a t-shirt, and would you know it's her? You know why? You wouldn't, because they don't visit, they're never on the ground. That's why. What been it? All right, thought I'd share that with you guys. It's time for us to do better. And no one person can do it. Let's be clear. Because I know some of you are going to sit there and say, no, you Mwewa, you think. No, honey, not one person can do it. It is a collective effort. Everybody has to be on the same page. All pistons firing. Thankfully, I believe, the president has already set the tone. The president has already said, look, do your job. Do your job. Do your job. Love this city first. One of the problems is that we got a bunch of people at the council who don't love the city. They don't. God give us men and women that will walk down Cairo Road. God give us men and women that will walk down Addis Ababa Drive. God give us men and women that will walk down Burma Road and say, I love this city. I want to see it better. I want to see it function. But do these jokers talk like that? No. All they ever talk about is, "Woy, so chilishan kulia. Na kaka chiteni kalia. Kaka landi kaya chilishan. Na no mbaya tara moneka ulia. Iwe, can you find someone for that billboard chikuru chijakuja? Tupangepo drama." Breaks my heart. I gotta go. Thanks for watching.